All right, hello. Thank you again for joining Plant-Based Homestead Prepper. And in today's topic, I want to talk to you about prepping for your pets. Prepping for your pets, okay? So, cue the intro. We'll get there one day. So, I was out and about. I got this is Miss Tinky. Say hello to everyone, Tinky. Hello, Tink. She's camera shy. And as we were riding, I said, you know what? It would be a great video to put up if I talk to the people about prepping for your pets and animals. Whether you have dog, cat, horses, livestock, whatever. If you are a prepper, it would be wise to prep for them as well. Why? Because if you can afford to have them now before the shtf or World Without Law, then you need to make provisions to take care of them after everything goes haywire and south. So, some of the same things that you're going to do for yourself, you need to do for your furry babies. So, just to give you guys a background story, we did have one. We had a dog. She was a golden retriever mix. Her name was Midnight, and she passed on about, oh gosh, Midnight's been gone a while now. As a matter of fact, we keep a little momentous right here from 1999 to 2013, and I did not think that I could love a dog any more than I love Midnight. Now, when I married into the situation, Midnight came with the marriage, and I was fine with it. And Midnight was a huge dog. I mean, she was 80 pounds, easily 80 pounds. And I used to lay on her, and we'd wrestle around and play and all that kind of stuff. And Midnight, she ended up getting these growths. She had one on her underside, and we ended up having a surgery on that. Then she developed another one on her underbelly, and then she developed one in her face, and got to the point where she was having trouble breathing, so we ended up having to put her down. Oh my gosh, one of the worst days of my life. One of the worst, hands down, one of the worst. And you don't think you get that attached to your fur babies until it's time for one of them to die. And when that happens, OMG, to the 25th power, it is very, very heart-wrenching. So I swore up and down, and I told, calm down, everything's fine. Let him work on his car. I swore up and down, I would never fall in love with another pet or another animal. Shh, calm down. And all of a sudden, Tink comes along. Now, Tink was already full grown. She was trained. She was good to go when we got her, because we got her from my brother-in-law. And they had taken very, very good care of Tink. And they had spent a lot of time with her and trained her. And she was already, housebroken, and just such a good all-around dog. Well, we had Tink about a year. Then she went back home, and then we ended up getting Tink again. And they just, they couldn't take care of her because something with their lease or, something, whatever. They were living in an apartment. They couldn't have pets. So we took Tink on permanently. Well, my wife, being the animal lover that she is, she kept weighing on me. And she was like, you know what? I think we ought to get another dog. And she hit me with, let's either have a baby or let's have a dog. That was an easy situation to be in right there for me. I'm like, okay, dog it is. So I surprised her one day. I had been looking. Now, Tink is a full-blood Yorkie, registered and all. Who knows where her papers are? And me being me, and always thinking about the future and thinking about how we can, kind of get ahead. I was like, well, I kept checking the papers, I kept checking Craigslist and all this other kind of stuff. So one day, I found this full-blood Yorkie on Craigslist. These people were trying to get rid of, and the price was right. And this poor dog, when I picked him up, he was in bad shape. I went ahead and paid for him. Didn't know a lot about Yorkies then. I sure didn't know what I know now. He's a very rare Yorkie and worth way more than what I paid for him. Full blood, came with papers. And I get him to the house. Jennifer, my wife, flips out. I mean, she goes crazy because she had no idea that I had even been looking for another dog. And my daughter just happened to be, I had called my daughter over. I was like, hey, I got a surprise for Jennifer. I want you to be here. So she was at the house, and when Jennifer gets home from work, she walks in, and here's another dog. And Jackson he came from a rough house. He was abused often, quite often. You can tell because even now, we've had him about 2 years. Even now, he's still very, very timid, very shy. But one thing he wasn't shy with Tink when he first got here. So within a very short period of time of us getting, his name was Biggie, and I changed his name to Jackson, and just that Biggie thing just didn't fit for me. So we changed his name to Jackson. Jackson came in the house, and within, I don't know, a week and a half, he and Tink had mated. And you guys know that, you know, once animals get together, it's not long before they have a litter. Well, Tink had her first litter, and Tink's an older dog, so she was already at high risk. So she ended up carrying. This is very rare for Yorkshire Terriers to carry. They can have up to four puppies. She's a small breed. She's not a toy, but she's the one step up. Tinky, we call her Tinky. Tinky had 4 babies in her. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited because I was like, oh my. Full-blooded, yes. We about to make a mint. I was gonna sell them for $1,500 a piece. Well, lo and behold, it didn't work out that way. She had her first litter. We had Atlas, Sebastian, Bella, and I can't remember the other one. Man. We had 2 boys and 2 girls. Well, 2 of them didn't make it. One of them didn't make it at birth. One of the boys died at birth. He was breached. He was the last one to come out. Tinky didn't have enough in her to push him out, and he basically drowned right there in her womb. And it was so sad. Oh my gosh, it was so sad to watch that puppy pass like that. We cried. We tried to do CPR, and we tried to do everything we could. Couldn't save that puppy. And we had 2. At that point in time, we had two girl puppies and 1 boy puppy. And Atlas came out. He was huge. I was like, oh my God, this puppy is huge. And the other 2, they were kind of, they were kind of a little scrawny or whatever. And the other girl puppy, she was real weak, and she would never eat. We were having a hard time getting her latch on the Tink. She just wouldn't eat. And finally, got to the point where Jennifer had gone to. She had gone to the store to try to get some milk because we were gonna try to feed her ourselves. And that little puppy died right there in my hands. Oh, you talk about crying like a baby. I cried like I had known her for 20 years. I was so sad. So Tink, those 2 to survive, we still have them. That's Atlas and Bella. Then, lo and behold, before we can get Tink fixed, the inevitable happened. Tink, as soon as she got finished nursing those 2, she went right into heat. Never had seen this before in my life. She went into heat like the following week. She and Jackson hooked up again. Lo and behold, Tink's pregnant again. I mean, real quick. And this was high risk to the point where we ended up having to have surgery to get one of these puppies out. And it was stillborn. She didn't even deliver that baby. That baby had been dead for a while inside of Tink, to the point where it was threatening Tink's life. So she go through something like that. Needless to say, we have Alexa. So we have gone from 1 dog in the house to now 5 dogs. I'm gonna tell you guys something. My house is never dull. And these dogs love my wife. They follow her around just like she is their mother. which she is. And I told you guys that story to tell you this. Your pets and your animals are part of your family. You'll do anything for them. Okay, especially if you love them like we love ours. You'll do anything for them. So make sure you make provisions. Next time you go and get them some food, buy 2 bags instead of 1. If you buy them canned goods, canned food like we do, buy extra cans. Always, and prep for them just like you prep for yourself. If when you go to the grocery store, if you buy extra jar of peanut butter for you and your family, you buy extra, 3 or 4 canned goods for you and your family, then guess what? When you go to PetSmart or to Walmart or wherever you buy your dog's food, your cat food, or your snake's food or whatever, then buy some extra for them. Now, with water, you need to make sure you make provisions for water for them as well. Now remember, you need 1 gallon per person, per human, every day in an emergency situation. So whatever they drink and whatever they need, you need to add that much more for them. If you have big dogs, if you have horses, if you have cows or whatever, then you need to make bigger provisions. So don't forget to prep for your pets and for your fur babies, because trust me, the last thing you want if something happens is for you to have to. Now it may come to the point, and this is just reality. If it comes to the point where, and I'm gonna give you guys some resources I want you to look into. On YouTube, the last time I checked, it was on there. 1 second after. That's an audio book that I want you guys to listen to or read. A friend of mine on YouTube named Bizza Rizza, he has a series about, 20 something plus videos that he recorded of a story where he's telling about an EMP hitting the United States, and it's his scenario, totally created by him, and he tells this story. He has it in on YouTube. His name is Bizza Rizza. You can look it up under EMP. I want you guys to listen to that. Go give him some love. 1 second after. A Netflix series I want you to watch. It's called, it's not Colony. What is that one? Jericho. I want you guys to watch Jericho on Netflix. And tell me, once you guys watch these things, come back and let's talk about it. Tell me what you think about them. Because I'm telling you, with all 3 of those, with that book, with 1 second after, it's gonna make you cry at certain points. Especially when they talk about their family dog. It's gonna make you cry. Especially if you're an animal lover, you're gonna cry. That book is gonna make you cry. So be ready. With Bizza Rizza's YouTube channel, it's gonna make you think. It's gonna make you, if you think you're a hardcore prepper now, or you're getting into this prepper lifestyle, it's gonna make you really start upping your game. It's gonna step your game up. And then with Jericho is gonna give you a audio visual series of what could happen and kind of how people are going to react when things happen. I think that's a little mild. I think it's going to be way worse than what happened in Jericho, but it's going to give you some good emphasis and some things to think about while the times are still good. So I just wanted to give you guys that. Make sure that if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure that you hit the bell icon so you'll know when I update, when I upload. Like I told you guys before, I am really seriously trying to catch up. I feel like I am years behind. So don't be surprised if you get 2 videos a day. Don't be surprised some days you may get 3. Because as ideas and as stories come into mind, I'm going to tell them. I got to put them out there because I know for a fact that they're going to help and bless somebody. And while I got my riding buddy with me, you guys take care of the ones you love. And one thing that I love that Prepper Nurse 1 says, kiss and hug the ones you love, because tomorrow's not promised. I like that. So shout out to Prepper Nurse 1 for always saying that. And that's so true, because tomorrow is not promised. Hell, the rest of the day is not promised. You know, I've seen a lot of people here today, gone today. So, you know, while you still have breath in your body, call up the people that you love, the people that live in your house. Tell them you love them. It's okay to tell them that you love them. And as always, I love you enough to tell you the truth. You guys be blessed. Take care.